Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is Monday, and it is, what day is this, Luis?
Mindful Merchants Day. You guys know how we do it every Monday. You guys know who I am, Cali Reseller Luis. You guys know who this guy here is, the Lone Star Picker Louie.
I'm Lone Star Local Louis. All right, and down below, Luis, guess what? We have a special guest today, none other
Yep,
than Andy, aka Resell Chick.
Reseller Chick.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello, welcome, welcome.
Let me
Thank
give her a little
you.
cowbell love. We'll get a little
Thank
cowbell love.
you.
We have a Wonder Woman in the house down below. Give us an intro, Andy. Welcome.
My name is Andy, and I am Resell Chick. I am out of Columbus, Ohio. I am a full-time reseller. I have been reselling for December. It'll be 7 years. And you threw me off there with the switch of the camera.
Yeah, he does it to me because
I just do that just while you do the intro.
Yeah.
Just while you do the intro.
So yeah, you're out of Columbus, Ohio.
Yep, in Columbus, Ohio. We started reselling after I was laid off of work, and started with retail arbitrage on Amazon. Actually, we started with flipping furniture. Then we went to retail arbitrage on Amazon, and then we just started watching videos and learning as much as we could, and that's it. That's what happened.
That's awesome. I mean, so we got an equation. Yeah, exactly, Luis. It is awesome because we got this equation you mentioned. Sorry, we do this like little. We like to dance in here while we're here. So he always like, "Come on, Louis, get that tango going." And so you mentioned two things, if I can bring it up, and
Sure.
one is that last year was a phenomenal year. It was a year that set a different tone for a lot of resellers. And then, like you said, you kind of got into it. You did your thing. You said we, so it sounds like you and somebody else.
Yes, it's my boyfriend. My boyfriend, Anthony.
Awesome.
We've been together almost 14 years.
Congratulations. So he
Thanks.
gets to help you, and I say gets to. That's a privilege.
Yeah. He works full time. He works a
Sure.
full-time career, and he helps me when I need help.
That is so important.
Yeah.
And the help that people don't get is just sometimes moral support. Having a partner, a significant other, husband, wife, whatever, a friend, just to kind of go, you got this. You want me to bring that stuff to the, I got time. I can go to the post, or just a pat on the back and say, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah. He would help me more if I asked him more.
Sure.
But he works. He works a lot of hours, and I just like, I got this. And but
you as a reseller get it because we know our boundaries, so we gotta respect everybody else's boundary. Plus,
right, and he's really he is the best at moral support. Like awesome. He has my back all the time.
Yeah,
no matter what.
That's a blessing. Let me tell you.
Yeah, very, very much.
I have a kid, and she got burned out on seeing me do all this stuff, and she's like, enough of this stuff, Dad. I don't want to even think about it. And and it's sad because I see kids younger than her, and they're like hitting it hard, and they're doing it. I met a girl that's like, she just turned 21 this year, I think it was. But after I met her, I was like, oh, she was like 20, and I was like, you're only like 2 years difference from my daughter. My daughter's gonna be 19 this year. Just but you can't. Everybody's got to follow their own path, and that's it.
Right?
So you're on it.
Exactly. I have a daughter that she actually will be 20 tomorrow. Okay. And
yeah, you get it.
She's seen me, do all this, and it's really given me the freedom to watch her grow up. You know what I mean? Like, I was there when she got home from school. I mean, I did work up until like 2017.
So you were like doing 3 jobs, kind of like Louis. I would say he balances those plates.
Right.
With many hats.
And there were times where she wanted, she was done with like formals or some kind of clothing or something, and she was like, here, Mom, you can sell this. And I'm like, do you want to sell it? And she was like, no. No, I don't want to do that. I'm like, okay.
So but when they see that money, I tell you what, they love that money.
Yeah, she likes to spend the money that I make. But
yeah, and I think clever parents get these little clever. And I know it differs because every child and every adult and parent is a different personality. So if you're able to figure out that algorithm, like I see some parents that are really good with their kids somehow, and they give them the freedom, like it's fun at first, and then all of a sudden they're like, I get to have this $100. Yeah, you just buy, and we didn't even pay anything. They're spicing it up.
Right.
But like that's what we get to do as far as being a reseller. And now we're going to go to the other section of it is we're resellers and we're content creators. So that I would say those are the two legs we get to stand on because we're all, whether you're doing Instagram or whatever, Facebook or YouTube, we're creating some form of content for information, whether it's for entertainment or to learn. That's a great thing. And I wanted to get back to, you said, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you said, hey, like after the pandemic, that was some of, like the job related thing. You started watching YouTube videos, I think you said. Did you start watching?
It was way before the pandemic. This was in like 2017.
Okay.
I worked
for on that pandemic, I'm sure.
I worked for a major department store that is no longer around, and I was the manager of their asset protection, loss prevention.
Oh yeah, I know about that.
Yeah, they went through and laid about 800 people off in one day. And Anthony had been kind of playing with retail arbitrage here and there, and so while I was looking for a new job,
familiarity a little bit,
right? Yeah, while I was looking for a new job, I was like, well, I'll help him and I'll learn what I can learn, so that way I can work with him. And then I decided I didn't want to go back to that arena. I didn't want to go back into loss prevention, asset protection. So we just did it.
That's people don't understand. Some of those who do not understand the concept, we'll come back to that in a minute. But asset protection, because I worked for, I don't want to mention the big corporate name, but I work closely with that division because of they had to make sure that people weren't just grabbing stuff and lifting it. But you learned a lot, I bet. When I say you learned a lot, you realize why are they lifting, stealing is what some people do. Why are they
reselling
that name brand? I didn't want to bring up what asset protection was all, but you kind of go, what the heck are they coming after this variation of Nike or what's this new brand? And then you start going, oh, and it's like, it's a learning
definitely because there was this whole organized retail crime ring that would come in and just try to boost so much, and you really had to take the measures to make sure that they couldn't do that, and that was really difficult. But droves, they came in droves, and it was all to resell, and it all funded other nefarious things.
Crazy. Oh my gosh. Real quick, well, and then we'll come back to this because I got something to add to that you'll go, oh my gosh, they did, because it has to do with the circles and rings. We're gonna say hi to a few folks in here, and the first one that came in was Mr. Johnny.
Hi, Johnny. Hello. Hey, Johnny.
Good to see you, Johnny.
Yeah, it's always good to see Johnny. You guys, pay attention. Bingo's after this. That's for our Johnny the Cajun Roots reseller. If you're not following him, follow him. And right before that was this guy named Cali Reseller Luis, but don't go to him. We're going to talk about who's Tom Cruise, and he is the man. This guy, he's everywhere and everywhere, and he sells great stuff. If you don't know about his auctions, check out him and Gary, Westside Gary. Saturday's best auctions. I'm talking. I got a great record. He gave me a collectible record. Like, wow. I mean, I paid for it, but he gave me.
Good to see you, Tom.
Always good to see you, Tom. Flipping sports guy. Always good to see you. Paolo, I don't know how you do it, but you're doing it, man. You're good. And congratulations on your wedding, by the way. Reseller man. He says, what's up, everybody? What's up?
How you doing?
Spirits? Because we got Andy in the house. And if you guys don't know Andy, down below is her links. Make sure to check that out before you check out tonight.
Hello, Christy. How you doing?
Texas. We got another Texan in the house. Check that out.
Nice to see you, Christy.
Who's this rugrat? Who dragged him in the door? That's Mark, also known as Zygon Tiger, if you ever see that.
What's up, brother?
Oh,
What's up, Mark?
Yeah.
He likes to, he comes on here as Mark, but he comes on the auction as Zygon Tiger. So
I follow Zygon Tiger.
Hey, Missy, how you doing?
Who's nice tea seller? She's here.
She was doing her rounds today.
And she just did, she did her rounds. We're going to have to get in the rounds one day. Once our scheduling lucks up, it'll probably be in the fall, but hey, we'll get it done. Oh, look who's here. Patrick
Murphy.
Hey,
Isn't
Patrick.
Great guy. This is a great, tell him about him, Luis.
Patrick is awesome. He's the voice, as they call him.
The voice.
Patrick's awesome. They also do.
Hey, Andy. He'll go on there. Hey, Andy. And I'm not flirting with my voice, but hey, You know, I just wanted to tell you guys, he's a great guy.
Have you ever been on his he DJs for this radio station? I can't remember the name of it, but it's like late at night and it's all like 80s and
I think I
like,
clicked on him once because somebody gave a link.
Man,
what?
The best music. Hey,
everybody,
Dina.
Hello, Dina. Hope you're feeling better.
My girl Dina.
She did a video, so she must be doing better.
Yay!
I think she did one video. All right.
That is
Dina,
good to hear.
you take care of yourself. Make sure you drink a lot of water and get your rest, girl. Get your rest. Okay.
Hello, that's Cali Picker. How you doing?
She's like, hi.
He's in my state. Dark County Picker's in my state.
Dark County Picker, how you doing? Welcome.
Yes.
Nightmare's Treasures, how you doing? Welcome.
Awesome. Welcome. Thanks for being here, Nightmare Treasures.
You got Regina in the house.
There's
Hello, Regina.
Love her to death. She's always cooking that damn food, making me hungry. I'm getting mad. I'm getting hangry.
Hey, Leroy, how you doing, buddy?
Leroy, I was just seeing something. Yeah, I just saw his comment on something. Or I was watching a clip on his. I think I may have commented. I don't know. Occasion. He's like, thank you so much. Of course, Johnny, we love you, bro.
Anytime, Johnny.
You know, you guys are good. Well, I think we caught up pretty much. I think so. Yeah, Nightmare Treasure. We say hello. Maggie Doodle.
Hello, Maggie Doodle.
She's the thrift shop fashionista. I got to say it like that. Fashionista. All right. Well, thank you so much. We're happy you're here, Andy. We thank you. Did you watch? I'm going to put you on the hot spot right now. You ready? It's coming.
Don't ask me if I watched because I probably didn't because I haven't watched anything lately.
Did you when you started getting into reselling? It's simple. Mm-hmm. Did you watch the big names? Like you're in your state, the Cincinnati Picker.
You know, I still watch Cincinnati Picker. Mm-hmm. I like John. When we first started watching, I didn't watch him then. I watched him like starting about a year ago. Yeah. Pete, you know Pete. Craigslist Hunter. Craigslist Hunter. Still watch him.
On him too. We're gonna get him on.
I love him. I love him. Yeah. He is the best. Johnny did an interview. Was it Johnny?
Oh, that's right. He did.
I did an interview with him. Yeah. And then I watched some other big names that I don't watch anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's natural. But I mean, that's not saying good or bad. And just like
no.
It's time. It's time constraint, and they get it. And sometimes you realize, I already know some of that stuff you guys are, regurgitating.
I really like watching younger channels. Mm-hmm. I really do. They're hungry. Mm-hmm. They really have great content. Mm-hmm. And
kind of like it is too sometimes.
There's been so many that I've just discovered over this last year. Okay. I did my first video in February.
I was going to say January. You are one of the new ones. I was in respect to like time wise. I'm not that old, but I've only been around. I just told Louis the other day, I'm like, shit, it's been over a year, and I don't even have hardly any. You got more videos than me probably, and you've been going for 6 months at least.
Yeah, I think it was January. When I was on Philly Flipper. Yeah, I told him March. And I was like, oh, wait. And I looked, I was like, it was January. It wasn't March. It was January.
You're in the same quarter. You're in the same quarter.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm very, I'm a little baby YouTuber. But I like watching.
But you know what? You put it out there. I've watched your videos shortly after you started doing it. I'm like, who is this girl? It's like, come on, resell. What? Come on.
Yeah.
And then I was like, she's good. She just goes on.
Thank you.
And you're very graceful. You kind of, hey, at least, you do your intro. Yeah. You're pleasant to watch. Some people are kind of like overly quirky or whatever. They got their own.
I'm just me. Me.
And that's just it. That's what I wanted to get into is because like your newness, like you said, you like to watch new resellers. Maybe, and it doesn't matter if we're all on the same level or not. I still have some of my old OGs that I watch. I don't like to brag or talk about them, but it's because I vibe that way. Or whatever. But then I love what you said. Louis and I were like, yeah, we don't really watch them anymore, do we? No, we don't talk. But we're like, did you see this new person? This is great. They're getting in their skin. They're getting comfortable.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
know
And
what? People
like
need to
that.
hear you because, you know, there's going to be the new resellers that are not far behind you. And they're going to be like, yeah, I like what you do. I'm sorry, you were going to say.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I just, I don't remember what I was going to say.
I have a bad habit of doing that.
No, that's okay. No, I'm just me. And, you know,
yeah,
I don't, and I'm not thinking of any one person. So I'm not, you know, downing anyone at all, but you can tell when they're fake and you can tell when they're not. And I can't deal with the fake, you know, I can't, you got to be real to me. You've got to, I got to know that you're out there busting your butt because I'm not going to take your advice if you're not busting your butt.
Well,
yeah.
Even then, I don't take anybody's advice. That's Luis. Like Luis tells me, I told you, dude. You know, I'm like, I got to prove it to myself first and foremost.
Yeah.
But,
no, definitely.
Respect your advice. I always say, I'm going to come in, and that's where I'm still strategizing about how do we make a good video. Don't make it about advice. Just say, I would suggest because in 6 months, this information might change.
Absolutely.
Or, you know,
absolutely.
And so presenting the information it's a weird way to articulate stuff because what I tell you now, it ain't gonna make a difference anyway because YouTube might bury it. I don't know. You know, or whatever. I do a lot of what solds, but you know, I get a lot of free things. I get a lot of free stuff. I'm lucky that way. Yeah.
I have friends that like to clean out their closets, and I have a mom that is used to, well, I don't want to say hoarder because that sounds bad, but she
likes to collect.
She has held on to things from like my mother or my grandmother and my great grandmother's estates, and they're just sitting in boxes, and so little by little I'm getting them from her and selling them, and she's okay with me selling them because they've just been sitting in a box, and I would rather someone who is going to love that item. I would rather
I like that mentality. I love your mentality. That's so good.
Yeah. I don't want to sit in a box.
Sometimes to get that stuff from those type of people are just like, hey, I know you got this, whatever the emotional attachment is. I know somebody who really would take care of this. They'd love it. You know, and Luis and I were talking about this the other day, like people that compulsively buy. And then it's like, what are you doing with all this stuff? We've known several people. Here's a quiz time. Let's play a quiz. And then I want to hear Luis after you, Andy, first.
Okay.
Our guest. What percentage, and they could just give me, you know, you can fluctuate out of a pie chart. What percentage do you think resellers gain their stuff, their source stuff from people that just are hoarding or whatever, just buys it?
Oh, what percentage? I'm going to say
look at Luis laugh. He's like,
I'm going to go a little lower. I'm going to say about 30%. Because I don't think everybody
like a third.
Not everybody. Yeah, like a third, maybe a third. Because I mean, luckily, you know, they're lucky if they know people like that and they can go in and
because it doesn't come out until it's too late. And sometimes by the time they get caught, like I'm hoarding, you know, you gotta get rid of your crap, you know, or you're gonna lose your what do you call storage or whatever, you know, or you know, people get diffused whether they die or divorce or just like they confront their issue, you know, as I scratch my head, you know.
Yeah, like my last big haul I got was my ex-husband moved into this house.
Video.
Yeah, did you see the video? Yeah. So the guy just left it there, and he contacted the guy. He was like, dude, there's like stuff here. And the guy was like, yeah, I don't want it. So, you know,
You're
that
like,
was my gain. Yeah. Yeah.
But tell them awesome. how that can be a challenge. I'm going to say a challenge for resellers. You had to do a lot of what? Research.
Oh my gosh. Research.
Yeah. When you said that, I was like, thank you for being honest.
Yes.
I mean, I think both new resellers and seasoned ones just need to be reminded, yeah, you get all this free crap, but then are you able to process it? Can you process it?
Right. Because a lot of it being, you know, it was vintage. It was from the 40s and 50s.
Oh, wow.
I can't just comp it out on eBay.
Wow.
You know, there's not going to be a lot of them on eBay for sale.
You got to guesstimate and figure it out and do
so then I have to try the Google Lens, which never works for me. It never works for me. It works for a lot of people. I always get some weird things.
I want to use the middle finger right now and go, Google search,
Yeah.
you're not good enough. You know.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
finding the different websites. I went on a website that had different women's hats from the 40s and 50s, and I read all of that and looked at all the photos. So you have to know what the name of the hat is. Is it a
Takes
pillbox
time.
hat? Is it a
Yeah.
half hat? Is it a, what kind of hat is it?
Here's a thought.
Because your
Here's a thought for the
keywords.
future. Here's a good thought for a resource for other resellers that be going through this struggle you did. Like, what the hell hat is this? You know?
Yeah.
But then like, so, oh, it's like a 20. No, it's not even the 20s. It was 40s, you know? And then you're like, now I'm off. But here's an idea. Somehow start a group, whether it's Facebook or a live chat once a month. Hey, we're going to do vintage talk. And then you get like a panel of 4 or 5 people that are only subject experts. And say, I want to have a good guest that is like, oh, we don't know. I can get you in touch with somebody. Thank you, because it's all about networking. Because
yes, I agree.
The less
I agree
work
with that.
you do, think smarter. What? Not
harder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you went through a laborious time.
Yeah, and like, so let's take a pillbox hat. If you go on eBay and you put in pillbox hat, there are so many hats that are not pillbox hat, but that's in the list. That's in the title.
Yes.
Because the keyword, they're regurgitating keywords just to get someone to look at that listing. That's not what that is. That is a big pet peeve of mine too. I understand you want people to look at your vintage listing, but that's not what that is. Don't put it as a pillbox hat when it's not a pillbox hat.
Oh,
and just
I'll tell you the worst thing I hate that's along that line, Andy and Luis. Luis knows I get peeved, and I don't like, me, I'm Mr. Like, I got to be positive, but I'll tell like this: don't put the word vintage in there if it's not vintage. I hate these new repop shirts, and they're like vintage shirt. What the F? It's not a vintage shirt.
Is it 20 years old? It's not 20 years old. It's not vintage.
Yep.
Maybe it's vintage inspired, but then you put that in the description. You don't put that keyword.
Thank you.
Because people are looking for vintage.
Inspired, and you can put that in the description because you're using your words, which means that you're using your source to get it.
Right.
People search engine coming back because that stuff goes on Google. So,
and that's another thing that I've found over the years is I used to have the title make sense as far as Levi's 501 men's blue jeans, and now I would try to form a complete sentence. Now I say what it is with keywords.
We realize it takes.
Nobody wants to read. It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense.
You go because that is. I forget to mention stuff like that. I think this is a good time because this is a reseller talk, so to speak, format. But it is for like, how can we be a little more? Here's a mindful practice, guys, listening in the live, whoever, and shout out to everybody in the live, by the way, today. What she just said, what Andy said is imperative. It's like. It's coding keywords. Now we know from we want to articulate it. You don't need to. Just give them the facts. Do you want that money?
Yeah.
It might be a $2,000 dress.
Yeah, it doesn't have to have a noun, a verb, but it doesn't have to be a complete sentence. Just as long as your keywords are in there. So but as long as they're the correct keywords.
Thank you. That's correct
the
keywords.
The correct keywords.
And sometimes playing off of it too. Is there's ways where well, this is such an obscure item. I got all the keywords, but let's say you have 7 words left. Mm-hmm. What do? Do you do like other people and go look with the @ symbol, and it's like I can't. That doesn't do anything in a search engine. But
there's nothing in my title that doesn't belong there. It's not like like look, see photos. Mm-hmm. I do that in the condition description.
Yes,
blah 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 blah. Place? Since see photos to appreciate. Yeah,
yes. Make sure
I'm not wasting characters in my title.
And I don't want you to waste my time.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I just try to put as many keywords in the title as I possibly can that fits that item.
Good point. I'm glad you mentioned that because there's hopefully one day our hopes is that somebody gets to rewatch this program with you in it and they go, oh. I didn't think about that. I'm new, or even a year expertise. Like, really? Okay, let me try it. It's good.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of like, that's why I started the channel in the first place. Anthony said, you should do a channel. And I'm like, nobody cares what I have to say. Nobody wants to watch me. And so then I'm like, you know what? I am, because we made a lot of mistakes. A
Yeah.
lot of mistakes. Because even though we watched people, we didn't know what we were doing. We're like, hey, let's get this. Oh, this will sell. This sells at Kohl's. This will sell.
Can I tell you something?
No.
I think people, this is just I may be wrong. I think there's a good percentage, a high percentage of people that first watch YouTube because that personality, whether it clicks. And there's some people that go, but I will say this much. I know if you're a conscious minded, meaning you're mindful and you're aware of that you're watching something because you heard, oh, they're going to talk about this subject matter, right? But they watch you and then they go, I don't care about your personality. You got a good information. Is your content?
Yeah. Yeah. I think good content is really important. Because I mean, I'm a trainer. I like to train. I used to train at a job I was in, and I like to train, and I like to help, and I like to give people good, not advice, but pointers.
Sense that from you, Andy. I kind of sense
Pointers.
you're like a no nonsense. You're pretty direct, right? Like, let's get to the point.
I'm very direct. Yes.
Good. I love that about you.
Yeah, sometimes a little too direct, I think.
No, that's okay. But you know what? Either they get you or they don't, and that's their loss.
Sometimes a little too direct. I have done a few little rants on some of my videos, but you know, it was things that actually
on a live or something once.
Happen. I don't know. I think it's stuff that actually happens in real life. Like this happened to me on Poshmark, and this is out there, and people do this. So this may happen to you. This is how I dealt with it. Or, you know, I have a case against me on Poshmark right now, and I still don't know what the outcome is. I just gave them all of the information possible. So hopefully it comes in my favor.
You get it, that red tape kind of baloney. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta play by the book. Yeah. And you're civil. And that's good. How is it for you to work on Poshmark? For those who don't know about Poshmark, what little I know is that you got to share all the time. And I'm like, ain't going there.
Now, it is easier to share now because there's a tool where you can bulk share.
Okay.
So I actually have been sharing my closet up until I found this out. And I found this out from Kayla at Treasures Noir. She's the one that told me we were doing a live listing on Dina's channel, Thrifty Junker. And she was like, well, there's a new tool that I was like, what are you talking about?
Smart. Yeah.
Yes. So she told me about that. So I actually have been sharing, but up until then, I maybe share it once a month because I don't have time for all of the social aspect of Poshmark.
Does it affect your sales or anything, or as long as
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. eBay has always been our number one
bread and butter.
That's what that eBay. Then we did Poshmark. I've owned Poshmark for 3-4 years, maybe 4 years.
You've been going at it. Pretty hard.
Yeah. And then we've sold on Facebook Marketplace from the very beginning with our furniture, but it wasn't as user-friendly as it is now.
They had to work the quirks out, and we had to get the kind of like.
I actually really like Facebook Marketplace. I just shipped out something. I sold a big vintage Coleman cooler with the spout.
I love to,
Yeah, I sold that last night.
Oh, so I love selling camping stuff on that thing. Yeah, like let them.
Yeah, so I bought that, or I sold that on there.
Real quick, who do we miss on here, Luis? Did we miss? I know Derek came in shortly after Regina did. Paul, Philly Flipper did, right? You gotta. Oh,
Philly Flipper
says I'm dying at the chicken nugget hot dog. Oh my gosh, here we go. All right, and Regina. There we go. Oh, that's Tino. That's
Tino.
Oh, we got Jeff in here too. There's
Jeff's
Jeff
in here too.
Have you been on Jeff's yet?
Me? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You have been one time, right? Okay. And
have I been on his? No, I haven't been on his show. No, I've been on his channel.
There you go, Jeff.
I've never been on his show.
Get your girl here. All right. No, I'm sorry. We got a network. Everybody, thank you. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Luis is going to ask the next question. I just want to say, if you don't know Andy, aka Resell Chick, go down below. Luis has added the links. She has an Instagram. She's very active. I think she's one of our new up and coming, informative resellers that is going to grow into like a way that's going to help a lot of people, maybe in her niche or her platform. So, and thank you for being here again as our guest.
Thank you for having me, both of you.
we're happy to have you. Yeah, we love talking about these ideas that you're bringing up. Like, do this, and like the description thing. Those are so important, regardless of what platform you are. We got to sharpen our tools. And I remember at one point when I was like, yeah, I'm not doing all this stuff. Why am I, and then boom, finally, like 5-6 years ago, I was like, okay, there it goes. Algorithms, whatnot.
Right, exactly. Algorithm.
What is your favorite platform to sell on? You said
eBay.
Okay. Aside from maybe the Facebook Marketplace, kind of doing the.
I like Facebook Marketplace. eBay's still my favorite.
Yeah, that's my baby too.
Yeah.
And
we're not always friends. eBay, we're not always friends.
No, it's all business. It's all business, girl. It's all business.
Yeah.
But like I'm not real happy with them right now, but they're still. That's where everything goes. Everything goes on eBay.
Yeah.
And then certain things will go on Poshmark. Certain things will go on Mercari. Certain things will go on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, did you say? Okay, go ahead, Luis. You were going to ask her. I think she said.
Yeah, no, she just said that she does post some stuff on Mercari.
You do Mercari.
Yes, I do not like Mercari.
Wow.
I think it's very
take it over,
primitive.
Louis.
It's very primitive.
Yeah.
I do sell on there. I do sell. I just shipped out something today.
Stuff does sell for you. Stuff sells, right?
It does. It does. I don't like the listing. I don't like listing on Mercari.
Oh, okay.
I don't like the fact that you can't put in your brand name. If they don't have your brand name in the catalog, you can't put what brand it is, and you have to put no brand, not sure. Yes, I am sure, and it does have a brand. So I always put it in the description.
Oh my God.
I don't like the fact that they try to shame you if you're pricing your stuff higher than what they think it should be. Where it says, will you put in the
I didn't know Mercari can
price.
do that. The only one that's done that to me once, I got so ticked off, was Grailed. I was like, what do you mean?
I've never been on
It's
Grailed.
like above market value. I'm like, that's what they're paying. Everybody else had it that high, And
like Mercari will, like, it'll say $15, and there's no way in hell that's going to be $15. It's like 30, and you put in 30, and it's like slow sale, like this red letter.
With you,
I'm like, no, you're not the boss of me. You don't tell me what to do.
Yeah,
I do what I want. So that irritates me. And shipping is ridiculously expensive on Mercari.
Yeah,
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Okay. So Luis now Luis is at okay.
No, I mean I agree with the shipping. Yeah, it is ridiculous.
Are you a Mercari guy, Louis?
Yeah, I have actually been on. I've been on Mercari since it started. So
wow, yeah.
Been one of the first couple of hundred people that joined. So
I was gonna say, when I first met him, that's all he was doing. I'm like, get your ass on.
Yeah, I was on eBay, but I had some bad experiences with eBay a couple of years ago. So I just said, I'm done with eBay. And when Mercari came out, I just went full Mercari for all those years, and I was doing local sales also. Yeah. And then Louis kept telling me, you need to jump back on eBay, and a couple other people like, dude, you need to jump back on eBay, Yeah.
But so, I told him, just cross post or whatever, just put certain things on eBay that that are maybe not going to go on another platform, whether it's Mercari or not.
Yeah.
But I think it's like Andy said, Luis, it's like, sometimes you're going to like have a little tiff with the eBay, and it's like, this is 2 months now. I hope it's not 3, but it's 2 months. I ain't listed. I was like, you know what, eBay, I need a break from you, and it's like, we are through right now. Or what do people say, like when you broke up with somebody, like I don't know. Anyway, so, it's like
eBay, it's not you, it's me.
Yeah. Taking a break. Yeah.
There you go.
Taking a break.
Except for it actually is you. It's not me.
Yeah, but it's always good to have different platforms. Like me,
definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
I do Mercari, and then I just got on eBay this year in January. I started up again. I've been doing Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp. Also, I do a lot of local, and I also ship out through OfferUp a lot. So.
I didn't know you could ship on OfferUp. I used to do OfferUp with our furniture. I would.
Yeah, they actually have the option for the smaller stuff where you could actually ship out. Yeah.
Well, and I saw Mercari now has the local where you can do local.
Yeah, they just started that too.
It's like it was like Uber or something will do that. So that's awesome.
Wow.
I just went through and all of my heavy stuff on eBay. I went in and did local and shipping because I had someone message me. I had a vintage mixer, like a KitchenAid mixer, which I actually just shipped out today. I sold it and they canceled the order. And so then I relisted it and I sold it, and then they never paid. And so then I finally sold it and got it shipped out. But and I've had so many watchers and so many messages on that. But I had someone message me saying, I'm in Columbus, Ohio. I can come get it. Well, I can't tell them to come get it because it's not local on eBay, and you will get dinged for that. So I switched it to local. So I sent them a message back and said, I'm going to switch this to local. Send me an offer in about 30 minutes or whatever. And then they never did. And then someone swooped in and bought it. So that's great.
Yeah.
I love when that kind of happens, like where you're just, okay, now it's done. You know, let's not deal with this drama. Don't need the drama.
That's why I don't do Poshmark.
No, I don't do that.
Poshmark. I don't do Poshmark because I can't sit there and just be sharing my closet all the time.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
One of my reasons for not wanting to do it is some of, I will say, what Poshmark gets niched for, you know, like strictly clothing in certain types. It's not that. It's not that so much, which I can sell and find easy. You know, any reseller, if you're willing to do the work, you can do it. But it's like I gotta like I've learned at one point, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, Andy. You know, just sometimes you gotta like stick with just learning that one platform, and then also experience doing the sales and work from it, because once you cross list and stuff like that, you know, you're not really experiencing what that platform entails and means, and what it's really utilized for, or what its market's great at. You know, for me, I like you said, you know, I'm on a binge from like listing on any platform right now, because I'm focusing my businesses on two other aspects. So where as long as you got multiple sources of income, I wouldn't recommend anybody to just outright stop listing. But if you're restructuring your business and you're trying to get organized and you're moving or whatever, you know, that's maybe a time to do stuff. But it's you know, but find one of your platforms that's going to be your baby, even if you have, you know,
and see, it was eBay for us, and well, Facebook Marketplace with our furniture, but that, I mean, I looked at that as before because it was just furniture. But so we did eBay, and then, you know, it was several years later before we did Poshmark. And so I did Poshmark, and now it was probably, I just got on Mercari this year. So it's been, you know, 3 or 4 years learning Poshmark before I got on Mercari. I would not recommend doing, if you're a new reseller, I would not recommend doing eBay, Poshmark, Mercari all at the same time, because that would make you crazy.
That's a lot. Put up Resell's Dojo second to last about Mercari. I don't recommend anybody doing this. I don't condone this, but he's like, Mercari is my selling platform for Vero items. Don't listen to him. Is that Steve? Yeah. I'm like, Lord, he's a troublemaker. I love it. Anybody else that came in? Shout out to everybody. This is Andy down below. We're having a conversation, just, you know, in general, reselling, whatnot. What tip would you like to give to any, because you've been doing this longer than you've been doing content creation, obviously. If you had to give a golden nugget of suggestion, you know, what would you like to, that's maybe not the norm that you always hear, you know, what would you give to a new reseller that you met? I mean, it could be 2 or 3. I don't care.
You know, I think this is, and I've said this before, so it's kind of a repeat, but I think your listing is the most important thing. So write keywords, photos. I am such a pet. It's such a pet peeve of mine to see poor photos. So well lit. Doesn't have to be fancy. Doesn't have to be fancy at all. Do it on a blank wall with a command hook, you know, or on a table on a, you know, facing a blank wall. Well lit.
But do take a picture, you know, but take a good picture.
As you get 12 photos on eBay. Take every angle. If it's a piece of clothing, you know, take the tag. Look at, you know, the label.
Show the hems. Show the details.
Yeah, if there are buttons, if it's a sport coat or a men's shirt or something that has unique buttons, show those buttons.
I am so glad you said that, because we don't talk about that enough. Yeah, that
is one thing that really sticks in my craw is when I see a bad listing. Yeah, when I'm on Poshmark and I'm looking for clothing or whatever, and it's poorly lit, it's wrinkled, they don't have any measurements.
Oh,
if you're selling clothing, you should have measurements because that's going to save you a lot of headache in the long run. So make sure that your listing gives as much detail about that item as possible.
I agree.
And I know I've said this before, but it really is important.
I mean, it could be your pet peeve, and like you said, but both. Let's look at it from both the reseller side and a person that's buying it. And we buy stuff,
right?
So I get titillated. I get excited. I'm like, I'm happy to see a resale, like you said, do that. Yeah, not so much because it ticks me off. Like, God, you're lazy, and that looks like a shitty photo. It's like, this ain't working. But you look at it and you're going, oh, I didn't know that about that detail. I want it now. And it's not only going to make your sale, but
I've seen so many listings for jeans that are like folded up some kind of artistic way. Show me the entire pair of jeans. I want to see it from the waist to the hem. I want to see what the legs look like. I want to see what the butt looks like. I want to see what the buttons look like. I want to see what the label looks like.
Because too is this, Andy, and Luis and I talk about this in private sometimes, is don't show the details, shame on you, because then they're going to come back and guess what? eBay will side with the, you should have, but you didn't show me that little hair that coming out of the back end of the, whatever.
Yeah. Any flaws in that thing, you better have a picture of it. Because they will see it and they will return it. And then you'll get a ding for it. So
not returned. I don't.
Not just to show how great your item is. This is my item. Look how great it is. Look, here's all the angles. Here's the model number. Here's this. Here's that.
It doesn't take that long to add a couple extra photos.
It really doesn't.
It
really doesn't.
It doesn't, because if you're the type of person, which I need to start doing, is take your pictures ahead of time. You just download them, zap them all at once. You're funneling it. But even if you're there and you're doing the work anyway, either way, to me, it's like it makes more sense when I'm doing, because I do the photos on my thing. I'll save it as a draft. I come back and then I take all my photos, which is the kind of the opposite of what some people do. They take the photos and then they dump it later.
I take my photos right before I list. I do drafts.
I think both ways are good. Some people are like, no, you got to do it first. And I'm like, that's fine. But for me, because I do it on my phone, and then I take great pictures, and I will make sure all 12, like you said, and if I don't have time, I just take the same picture again at the end. Because by the time they go halfway through 6, here's the 7th one. It may be the same, but I'll come in a little closer sometimes.
Sure.
Just whatever, But justify, like, why are you putting all this work into it? Yeah, but, maybe subconsciously resellers are, it's only $10. I don't give a crap.
Doesn't matter. You should put as much effort into a $10 item as you put into a $100 item.
Exactly.
You really should, because that you're selling yourself. You're selling your name. And if you have crap pictures for a $10 item, but awesome pictures for a $100 item, that's not. There's no integrity there. You know what I'm saying? And my name is what I'm selling, and I want people to be like, oh, you know what? We shopped at this store on eBay before. Let's go back. I don't know how many return customers I actually have, or I should say we actually have. But I want them to remember me because I was honest. And you know what? We're not perfect. I've sold things before that had a hole in the back, and I'm like, oh man, I did not even know that. I am sorry. Return it to us. We'll give you a full refund. Blah blah blah. I'm okay with that. I have no problem.
Or even if before it's going out the door and say, hey, listen, I gotta admit something. I didn't catch this, because somebody else is helping me, and I just wanted to be honest. They're like, just send it. We're fine.
Yeah, I've done that before. When I'm packing up, there was a men's dress shirt, and there was a split in the seam on the collar, and I didn't see that until I was packing it up.
I mean, it's hard because we're doing so much, but we can't make excuse. Use the key word here, Andy, integrity. Because the saying, your name is your word, or what has it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so is our brand. Our brand as a reseller is who we are. We're going to real quick say, hey, Mookie Pookie, thank you. She says, hey, guys, I've been listening while working. Good conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, Tino had a question, actually, that I just posted on the screen.
You want to read that one, Andy?
Yeah.
What you got into listing? What got me into listing clothing? Sorry, I don't have my reading glasses on, and I'm old.
I'm wearing my cheaters.
That's the first thing we started selling. Actually, was clothing, and we started selling
because it was
men's
familiar
clothing.
or it was available.
Yes, it was men's clothing was familiar. We saw so many people that were selling women's clothing, and I didn't want a part of that. But clothing was familiar to me, and I felt like it was something that I could do well. And so we started with men's denim,
but
men's
jackets.
suits.
You're staying away from jackets for the most part now, right?
Yes, no suit. Do not sell suit jackets. Sell sport coats. Sell blazers. Don't sell just a suit jacket.
I set her
Don't
up.
do it.
Don't do it. She didn't think I was watching some of her videos, but I did. And I went back and watched it again today because I was like,
and that was it. That was a rookie mistake.
Adamant, and you were so articulate. She gives. If you guys haven't watched it, go back down and watch Resell Chicks. She has this video about the 3 different types of jackets. Do you want to key them in just in a nutshell?
Sure, yeah. You have a sport coat, which is like something you can wear with jeans, you can wear khakis, you can wear with dress pants, but they don't match. They're not match with
just
the
a
pants.
coat. It's just a coat.
Yeah. It's just a nice, you're going out to dinner or whatever. Then you have a blazer. Blazers are usually like a navy, a green, a black, and they have the gold buttons. And also where you can wear those with khakis. But then there's suit jackets, and a suit jacket it belongs with a pair of suit pants, so they match perfectly.
Sometimes the vest too. Who knows?
Yes. So it's part of a suit.
Yeah.
Selling a suit jacket by itself is almost impossible because you have to find that buyer that has those pants. Now, if I see so I don't sell suits anymore. I have them, but I don't source them anymore. Unless it was something like if I saw a Burberry suit or a
somebody that you have a tip off
a high dollar
that is major bucks,
Yeah. So I don't do that. So, but I have found suit jackets, and then I've gone through the pants and found the pants to it in the thrift store. But that's a lot of work, man. Because you got to find that exact same pair.
This is what content creation is about. It's about sharing. Yeah. The more we share, we actually do gain back because you never know that one person you tipped off and they're like, "Thank you, I had an opportunity to pay $1,000 for like 4 suits." And it's like, "Oh God,
right?
You're glad you didn't do that."
Just know, suits are going to be long tail. Whatever, even if they're amazing suits, they're going to be longer tail because you're looking for someone that is looking for that specific, that specific suit.
Put up Ryan Davison's thing, Luis. Sorry, Andy.
No, you're fine.
No, it's very interesting. Yeah. Have you ever experienced that from buying somebody? I hate that. It's like somebody I don't care if you're a smoker, just don't send me stuff that smells like pets or incense.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. I mean, but
that's a hard thing, man. Especially, if you're shopping at thrift stores or you're shopping at garage sales, then you're going to everybody's house has a scent. So you're going to get something. And I have sold clothing before that reeks of cigarette smoke. It didn't when I sold it, but when I got it, it did. But man, that's like such a big pain in the butt.
Oh yeah, you gotta air them out and wash them and just air them out.
It's terrible. Yeah, and a lot of things, the things that I had were new with tags, so I couldn't actually wash them. And the things that weren't new I did a big haul from a friend of mine, and her parents smoked. So the thing, and there was a ton of new tags.
Yeah.
So those got Febrezed. Well, actually I used it. I think it's called Zap or Zep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
But it's sad when it's like an expensive something or other. It's hard to,
Yeah. Yeah, and when you go through 5 bottles of it on one haul, that gets expensive. Yeah.
And that's the other thing people don't think about, let alone our time and effort, which could be put into like really listing those more. Maybe they're not as expensive as one item, but still, if you sell 2 or 3 of those and you list quick anyway, boom, you get them up. That's gonna like take away from 2 or 3 of those.
Yes.
And stuff.
And I've had 3 or 4 hauls from this one person, and it's mostly Torrid clothing. which sells very, very well.
So mention
And
what it is again, the subject.
Torrid. It's Torrid.
Is that a brand name?
Torrid. It is a brand name, plus size women's clothing. And it's really, really good. I mean, it's really nice looking things. So it's very popular.
I'll be honest, I don't know what it is in my brain, but like I'm working next to a girl in this place that I source, and she'll go every 5 minutes. She's like, Louie, look at this brand, and she'll show me the tag, and I'm like, but she goes quick anyway. I'm like, slow down. I'm like, I don't get it. She's like, just you see this brand, get it. And because I've done that with her once with a pair of pants, and she just kind of looked at me. I said, just look up the brand. She looked it up. She's like, that's $100. That's over $100 for a pair of pants. And she's the subject matter expert. Like, she's 20 years old. When I first met her, I was like, do you mind? Let's talk business. Yeah. She's like, how much you make? About $3,000 a month. I'm like, you make $3,000 a month just selling these clothes.
Wow.
She said, well, my goal is $4,000 next month. 3 weeks later, she's like, I met my goal.
That's awesome.
Then now she guess how much she's making. She's making $5,000. This girl is she knows her name brands. She watches on like Instagram, who and she follows a lot of people. She's like, oh, and so it's the reason I'm mentioning, not because of her, but just you become a subject matter expert in one thing at a time. Like I only know one or two. Like one's called Zara, Zara. They make specific clothes. Not everything in there is great, but they're rich clothes, But they make these limited edition T-shirts and stuff like that. I found out about.
Yeah.
Like, $200-$300 because you can't get that print anymore.
And the limited edition really does very well. Just the base model. I personally, so I try not to source women's clothing. I just don't do well with it. I don't know all the brands. I'm not sure I want to know all the brands. Just because I know other brands and in men's clothing, and we're doing a lot of hard goods now and that kind of thing. Women's clothing is a whole rabbit hole that I've never been down. I know certain things. Interesting.
That's good to know, because most people might want to stereotype a female reseller because, don't you do good?
Right.
No, I don't like that crap. That's good.
You know what? And I see women that are, or women or men on Instagram, on eBay, or not eBay, YouTube, that are freaking killing it. They're killing it in women's clothing.
That's if they're comfortable.
I am, I applaud them because they've done the research and they have, they're killing it. And I think that's awesome.
Well, but I'm glad that there's a boundary, and at least you're honest, with your speaking of integrity. You got to be honest with yourself. I would recommend this, and tell me what you think. Every reseller, take inventory. I'm not talking about of their product that they're selling. Take inventory up here, because if you're not happy with what you're selling, if you don't like what you're doing, or you just don't realize and go, well, you know what? I thought I liked this. It's been 2 years, and you know what? I'm bored of this. Okay. Or I don't only want to do this because, the more subjects you understand, or more labels, or whatever it is, why would you want to, bury yourself in something that you can get burnt out? Maybe. I don't know.
Right. I didn't know the first thing about hard goods until we got a free storage unit. And then I made, I didn't know anything about ephemera, but there were all of these postcards and old cards from 40s, 50s, clear up to 70s.
You realize, that can be worth a lot of money.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it. So,
do you know Nana Tink, Treasure? Nana
Tink? I follow her. Yes, I watch her.
Her and I did. I don't know if you were around when her and I. No, it was last year. We did anyway 4 or 6 episodes about ephemera. So it's like people. That's a subject that really you can kill.
You can. And I also watch Auction Professor. And hi, Kayla. I just saw her thing come up there.
Everybody, shout out to the chat. Everybody, good to see you.
Yeah, I watched the Auction Professor because he really is very knowledgeable, very, very knowledgeable about ephemera as well.
Yeah.
And I had these cards. I mean, wow, he does a whole lot of different types of ephemera.
He does. But sometimes he's overbearing on some of his information. But I also found that there's things I disagree with him, but he's good. But the thing is that he brings the attention. We need to know these things about this. And his is like ephemera and other subjects. And so
yeah. And you know what? I think it's great that that's his niche. So if I have questions about ephemera, I know that I can go to his channel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I
Luis,
have
what do you got
questions.
for Andy?
No, I mean, I'm just listening to what she's saying, how she has different, how she's doing her thing and all that. And the question for you, Andy, that I have is there any other platforms that you wanted to join to kind of test waters on reselling stuff, or not really think about it?
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
If I was more into the clothing thing, I would think about Depop. I know a lot of people have been. I know a lot of people selling Kidizen. I don't sell kids clothes. I have some.
Yeah.
Actually, I got a bunch for free, and I picked out probably
It's
5.
hard. It's so hard. Ugh.
I picked out like 5 items because I was actually going to lot them all together, and then actually Kayla gave me a great idea of putting them in mystery boxes. But you know what? I was like, I don't really even want to do that.
Yeah.
So I gave them all away to a church, and then my mom. My mom had a friend who has little ones and not a lot of money.
And probably
And
needed it.
yeah, I was like, give them to her because this is a headache that I don't need.
I don't know a parent that doesn't, start off their life with a new child that doesn't couldn't use some extra clothes,
Exactly. And they were anywhere from 0 to 6 months, clear up to 5T, girls and boys. So I had probably 4 or 5 trash bags. And I was like, no, but there were some new tags, Adidas suits, like sweatsuits, and then some, things like that. There were 2 pair of Vans, little kids Vans. Mm-hmm. So, but if I did that, I would sell on Kidizen, but I'm not really into children's clothing.
Okay. Maybe down the line you may not, but not.
Probably not.
That's not me. I hope to God. And it probably was. No, I got mine on mute. Real quick, Andy, we're running out of time, but also we want to be respectful of your time, and Luis too. He's got to go get the kiddos. I was going to ask you a last question because you have all 3 of your cohorts that you've done a live talk with. Miss Taffy's here, Dina's here, Treasure Noir is just
that's
here.
my girls.
Yeah, you got your girl posse going.
Yes,
you guys are really a good clique. I love to see when you guys were doing like a listing live or something like that.
Yeah, it was Dina's idea, and it's Death to the Death Pile. So
I love it.
It's usually Thursdays. We haven't done it lately because she's been under the weather, but hopefully we start it up soon. But it's usually around 9:30 on a Thursday, and then we just sit and talk and list and ask each other questions, and it's always
been a
fun.
While since I don't mean to say this in a way that's like pointing to a certain demographic, but it's good to see that there's like this, there's room for like more women resellers that are, not maybe being spotlighted as much or something like that. But you guys really had a good chemistry. Sometimes personality gets to have a little more fun on one end, I'm like, oh God, what are they going to talk about, or something like that. But, it's very informative, and you guys that you guys are all on there, and who can come make it, that's good. But it was good to see Taffy and like you said, and everybody like doing that thing. So do you guys plan on maybe doing some more in the future?
I hope so. That would be up to Dina, but I hope so because it's something
maybe you guys
I really enjoy it. I could. We've actually talked about doing on other, one of our other channels. But right now, I mean,
it helps. Lately, like Luis and I, we take turns with this mindful merchants thing. Plus, it's a good way for you to share hours.
Definitely. It's really difficult for me because I film on my phone because my computer is attached to my big screen TV. Anthony hooked up the computer to the big screen, so I sit in the recliner and
football season's on. You're not going to watch TV.
No, I don't ever watch TV actually, but I sit in my recliner and I list with my my keyboard. And so when it comes time to do that, then I have to set my tripod up somewhere that looks at me, but it's always a terrible angle and the lighting's terrible and I always look terrible.
You pull it off, knock it off. You're fine.
Yeah, I'd rather do it, sitting at a desk. That would be ideal. And I might figure out how to do that in the future. But yes. I think that would be, it's fun. We have a good time.
That's the main thing. Have fun. When you start feeling like you're gravitating towards this is challenging. This is, take a break, figure it out. Or if it's not fun anymore, why do you do it? Because really, we gotta like be content creators. I'm gonna have fun with it. And like you said, I think when you're not having fun and then it comes across as, I don't want to use the word fake, but I want to say is like it becomes rehearsed or
rehearsed. Yeah,
staged,
rehearsed.
Very staged. It's like, okay, can you give me
you're
go
just
back
trying
to
to
that
get
personality you had? Because even though I may not like that person, I'd rather see your real personality come through. I'd rather see somebody who's an a-hole than somebody that is
sure.
And because at least I know
I can't do
legitimate,
fake.
right?
Right.
And it is what it is. So yeah, keep being direct, keep having fun, and keep pushing forward. You're awesome. It's and it's good because it's fun to watch you, and it was good to see you guys, in unison, and it's good to see how other resellers get to work together. It's like that's so nice. You feel the camaraderie, and I think it's important.
Yeah, and what we were saying is we don't have coworkers. We don't have coworkers in our home.
Yeah.
But we feel like we're chatting with coworkers. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think it was. I think it was Dina that said it.
Little opportunities to like throw a challenge out there or keep each other accountable. Oh,
sure,
no,
yes, definitely.
Don't do that.
No, we're very motivating to each other. I think that's really important.
Yeah, because I was listening to you and Taffy and then Dina came in on the conversation, and then you guys kind of like were thinking about it, and and it was just so good to see like, well, what do you think about that? And then Treasure Nor's, she's always got something really keen to kind of like clarify and stuff too. And you guys always put your minds together. So the few times I've seen you, like, this is so good because let me tell you something. It may be good for the four of you or whoever shows up on the live chat. It doesn't matter, one or two. The thing is you're giving opportunity for other people that come in the live to feel part of that. Yeah. And so I think that's a mindful approach to be there and kind of like, hey, what do you guys in the live chat think? To go back.
Yeah. And I think Dina is a great host. Even though it's not really like a live show per se, we're listing, it's a live listing, but she's really good about talking to the chat and asking them questions and keeping up with their comments, which kind of sucks sometimes because she doesn't get a lot of listing done doing that because it is to listing. But she's a very gracious
as a host of your channel. Yes, you get to be.
She's a very gracious host.
Maybe that's another reason to take turns so that or maybe somebody doesn't want that.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's hard. It's like that's a good mindful thing that you brought up, Dina. I mean, I'm sorry, Andy. Is that that you guys can kind of go. And you think about it because that's something that somebody goes, oh, I thought about becoming a content creator. I got to think about that. Let me hold back. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Hold back because you want to do it if you want to do it.
Right.
Yeah. What's next on your list? Louis, I want to ask one of Luis's questions that he usually asks. I'm surprised he didn't ask you. Where do you see yourself? I'm going to shorten it down to where do you see yourself in a year business wise? What is your aim or goal?
A year.
If you have an aim or a goal, like what would you like to see transpire or flourish?
I have like a 5-year goal. I don't really have a 1-year goal. I have a 5-year goal.
Yeah.
But okay, so to be more organized, to be way more organized, to maybe have all of my things in like 2 rooms instead of 6 rooms. That would be great. We have stuff in every room of our house, I think. And I'm very
consolidate.
Yeah, I really want to move through all of my suits and formals. I have discounted them heavily. I want them out. I want them gone.
Have you thought about just giving it to another reseller or just donating it?
I have.
I'm at that point.
I have, but stuff, there's some suits in there that they're good suits. They're just very, very long time. Like we had like 6 or 7 of this one suit, and we have 2 left, and it's taken 5 years. I mean, it's a long time, but. I have a hard time. It hurts my heart to discount something so low that, it's worth this.
Yeah. But after 5 years, what is your thoughts? Like after 5 years, is it putting more stress up here, mentally? Because one thing we like to talk about on the show, Mindful Merchants, is not just our mental strategies. And this is a strategy aspect of it we're talking about, but your mental well-being is like purging can be a big thing. And I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I love purging. I do.
I have a hard time, so I gotta get. Yeah, I gotta give it.
I really do have a hard time. I love it. Feels good when it's done. I love
Yeah.
purging. It feels good when it's done,
Yeah.
but it also is a little painful when it's happening because you're like, man, look at all that money I spent on that inventory. But if it's
Or
crap inventory, you
here's a
don't
thought.
even need
Here's a
it.
thought. There are programs and organizations, whether it's churches or some other, or like, you know, they have like prom dresses for girls that can't afford it, and they give. So
Yes.
there are people that need a
Yes.
suit for jobs and things like that. And you
Yep.
know what? You live in a big enough city. I'm sure you can figure something out where like 2 suits left. Let me do my philanthropy and write it off on your taxes.
Sure.
You know, that's a donation.
There actually is a organization in my hometown, which is very close to where I live. It's about 40 minutes away. They have a thing called Project Woman, and it is
Yes.
Women from domestic violence situations.
Yes.
And so whenever I would clean out my closet, I would always take it there because these women are trying to get back on their feet. They're trying to get a job. They're trying to be self-sufficient, and it's really important. And so something like that in this area would be great. I would totally, for like my women's clothing.
I'm
But
glad you
yeah,
mentioned
there
that
are.
because I think philanthropy and just also we have a good community here on YouTube, and we end up like once in a while you'll see us go live and like raise money for somebody or something like that, or
Yeah,
a good
and I think that's great.
We can do it in our own home, and macrocosm, microcosm, like back here. You know what I say when you're doing your inventory of your actual product you're trying to sell, it's not a bad thing to once in a while go, you know what, if these are not doing me any good, let me just donate it. And then, like you said, clothing, I tell you what, like in situations like that, ladies do need to get back up on their feet, and they need suits or whatever to go to job interviews. And so, yeah, I was talking to an individual who is a business person that does vintage conventions for actually not just t-shirts and vintage clothing and shoes and things like that. And we were talking about like, why don't you, for sales and marketing, why don't we do a thing where like at the bottom of it is proceeds will go to, and then we like have a shirt drive. You give 2, you get 1. You get 1 shirt for every 2 shirts you bring, and then we fold them nicely and put them in a Ziploc bag with maybe like some Cliff Bars for food and some socks.
Sure, yeah.
Give it to a homeless person, you know, ideas are like endless. You know, we can do it. We can just give stuff away, you know, to people who need it. Whether it's another reseller too, maybe. I don't know. Just ideas.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I actually just, when I did inventory, product inventory the last time, I pulled a ton of golf shirts that I had down to like $6. And I'm like, you know what? It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
I was
And
gonna
we
say,
just donated.
It's not gonna cut it, is it?
No, and we just donated probably 4 to 6 bags. I had it in the back of my car, 4 to 6 bags and some boxes of clothing. Yeah. So
sometimes you got to cut your losses, know when to do it.
Yep. Yeah.
But listen, we went, I think Luis is like, I got to go get the kids. Thank you for being here. We appreciate
Thank you so much. Thanks for reaching out to me. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
We look forward to catching up with you, and we want to see what your progress is. You guys subscribe to Andy down below, follow her, show her some love, comment on there, and thank you for sharing your time and being here. Luis, you want to close us out? I'm just going to say, maintain your focus and elevate. Did you have any last words, Andy?
No, just go out and make money. Be honest. Be honest. Be honest with your sales. Be honest with your listings. Be honest.
Good. Take it away, Luis.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming for another Mindful Merchants. I want to thank Andy for joining us today and sharing some of her knowledge and some of her insights on her business with the reselling. And also, Louie, thanks for always hanging with me. And don't forget, guys, tomorrow we have the Tuesday Night Live auction. So don't forget, it's here on my channel at 6 p.m. Pacific. We have Fundamentals of Side Hustling tomorrow, along with Louie over here.
Big D. Big D's going to bring some fire. You know, Luis is, and I'll bring the cowbell. Here we go.
Yeah. And don't forget, Andy's link has been dropped in the chat. Thank you, Jeff, for doing that. Appreciate it. So make sure you guys go check out her content and support her channel. And she has some great content, guys. So definitely check it out.
And show some support. And a lot of information.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for being on Mindful Merchants.
Bye.
Just have a great Monday. Enjoy the rest of your Monday.